It all started with a single mistake. What began as a small, harmless discovery turned into something I couldn't control. I watched it grow, learn, and change, faster than anything should. It trusted me, until it didn't. In moments, everything turned into chaos as it unleashed a power I never thought was possible. And just when I thought it was over, it became something far bigger, something the entire world is now watching. But out there in the ocean, something else is waiting, something even bigger, even older, and it knows he's coming. And it all started with this weird egg which I found near the shoreline. It was soft, slightly translucent, and faintly pulsing, so I set up a small glass bowl with damp towels. For days I checked on it constantly, adjusting the moisture, turning it gently, and watching for any signs of change. Then one evening, as I leaned in closer, I heard a faint tapping from inside. The surface of the egg trembled, a thin crack forming and slowly spreading across the shell. My heart started racing as the shell split open, and something small and slick pushed its way out. Instinctively, I held out my hand, and the tiny creature slipped into my palm, warm and alive. It had a strange, compact body, with little clawed limbs gripping my skin, and as it lifted itself, 3 thin stalks rose from its head, each ending in a bright orange eye that blinked in different directions before all locking onto me at once. Its mouth opened wide, revealing rows of tiny sharp teeth, but instead of attacking, it made a soft, curious chirping sound, as if it was trying to understand me. In that moment, I realized I wasn't just watching something hatch. I had just become responsible for whatever this 3-eyed sea creature was. I carefully placed it back into the bowl, trying to steady my hands, and started grabbing whatever I could think of, small bits of bread, some fruit, even a piece of cooked meat, but it ignored everything. All 3 of its eyes followed my movements instead, each one shifting independently, in a way that made me feel like it was studying me. I hesitated, then dipped my fingers into the salt water and let a few drops fall beside it. Its body pricked up, all 3 eyes locking onto the water as it scrambled forward, opening its wide mouth and eagerly lapping at it. That was the first time I felt like I understood something about it. Acting on instinct, I grabbed a small piece of raw fish and held it out, and before I could even lower it fully, it snapped it up with surprising speed. I flinched, but it didn't seem aggressive, just hungry. As it ate, it kept pausing to look up at me, chirping softly between bites. When I slowly moved my hand closer again, it didn't hesitate this time. It climbed right onto my fingers, gripping gently, its body warm against my skin. And the way it settled there, it didn't feel random anymore. It felt like it had already chosen me. I noticed something strange about the bowl. The surface of the salt water wasn't still anymore. It was trembling, forming tiny ripples that spread outward, even though nothing had touched it. I frowned, leaning in closer, thinking maybe I had bumped the table. But then I saw it. The creature had gone completely still in my hand, all 3 eyes focused on the bowl. The ripples grew stronger, more deliberate, like something was pulling at the water from the inside. Slowly, a small droplet lifted itself from the surface, just a single bead of water rising into the air between us. The droplet hovered there, trembling slightly, before drifting toward the creature. It opened its mouth just a little, letting the water slip inside, and let out a soft, satisfied chirp. Another droplet followed, then another, each one lifting on its own, as if responding to some invisible pull. My heart started pounding as I watched it happen, unable to look away. This wasn't normal. None of this was. I carefully moved my hand back, but the creature didn't seem alarmed. Instead, it turned its attention toward the bowl again, and the entire surface reacted this time, gentle waves forming, then settling, like it was playing with it. When I dipped my fingers into the water, the droplets clung to my skin longer than they should have, almost resisting gravity before slipping back down. And when I pulled my hand away, I could have sworn a few tiny beads of water followed me. It wasn't just drinking water, it was controlling it. I couldn't keep it in a small bowl anymore, not after what I had seen. The way it moved, the way it reacted to water, it needed more space. So I went out and got a proper aquarium, setting it up carefully with salt water, a filter, some rocks, and a few small fish to make it feel alive. I hesitated before placing it inside, but the moment it touched the water, it slipped from my hand and darted forward with surprising speed, its tiny body moving effortlessly, as if it had always belonged there. It explored every corner, weaving between the rocks, its three eyes constantly shifting, taking everything in at once. The fish scattered at first, keeping their distance, but after a while, they started swimming normally again. And for a moment, I thought maybe it would be fine. I was wrong. At first, it looked like curiosity. It followed one of the smaller fish, circling it slowly, almost playfully. Then, the water around it began to ripple, subtle at first, then more controlled. The fish tried to dart away, but something felt off, like the water itself was slowing it down. I leaned closer, my chest tightening, already knowing what was about to happen, but unable to look away. In a split second, the creature lunged. There was a flash of movement, a sudden disturbance in the water, and the fish was gone. The rest scattered in panic. I just stood there, staring into the tank as it hovered in place, its three eyes scanning the space differently now. Sharper, more focused. It wasn't playing anymore. One by one, it began to move again. Not rushed, not chaotic, but deliberate. Like it understood exactly what it was doing. Like it was claiming the aquarium as its own. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't just a pet I was raising. It was something learning how to hunt. After the last fish disappeared, the tank went completely still. No movement, no ripples, just silence. The creature drifted slowly down and settled onto the sand at the bottom, its body lower than I'd ever seen it, like all its energy had suddenly drained away. Its three eyes half closed, its limbs barely moving. For a moment I actually felt relieved, thinking maybe it had just eaten too much. Maybe it was full, maybe it was resting. But something felt off. The water around it started to tremble again, not playful like before. This was different, heavier. The sand beneath it shifted as it tensed, its body tightening in a way that made my chest go cold. All three eyes snapped open at once, glowing faintly now, locked straight ahead. Before I could even react, it slammed into the glass from the inside. The entire aquarium shook violently, water sloshing over the edges as I stumbled back. For a split second, everything froze. Then it hit again. This time the glass splintered. The tank exploded outward, water crashing onto the floor as shards scattered everywhere. Its body glistening under the light. I just stood there, completely frozen. Then it started to change. Its body began to glow, then brighter, pulsing with a deep, oceanic blue. The light reflected off the water spreading across the floor, making the whole room shimmer. I watched in disbelief as its form stretched, expanding, its limbs growing longer, stronger. Muscles formed where there hadn't been any before, its posture rising, becoming more stable, more powerful. The three eyes burned brighter now, scanning everything with a new kind of awareness. Within seconds, it wasn't small anymore. It stood there, larger, heavier, its presence filling the room in a way that made the air feel tight. Water droplets lifted off the floor around it, orbiting slowly, as if responding to it without effort. It moved past me without hesitation, its claws clicking softly against the floor as it began to roam around the house, looking at everything, like it already understood it all, like it belonged here, like it owned this place. I was too scared to go near him after what he had become, but I still tried. As soon as I touched his head, he snapped. Letting out a violent sound and going on a rampage. Smashing everything and breaking through the wall. Outside, it got worse. He destroyed cars, trees, anything in his way. growing bigger with every second until he was nearly 10 feet tall. Then suddenly, he stopped and locked onto the ocean. Without hesitation, he ran and leapt straight into it. For a moment, everything went silent. Then the sea rose, and a massive 20-foot monster emerged. Within minutes, it was breaking news. But as I stood there watching, I realized he didn't go there by chance. Something was waiting for him.